As if by magic, with fingers crossed and everything else, we're off to down to the gorgeous Newquay Orchard with Matthew, who's at their Injection of Nature event. Over to you, Matthew.
It absolutely is breathtaking out here today. Stunning. And we are at Newquay Orchard with the Injection of Nature. Really, to understand what we're going to be doing is Andrew Howe. So, hello.
Hello.
So, Andrew, what do you do here and what are Newquay Community Orchard?
Right, well, my job here is I'm a change coach on something called our Sustainable Lives programme. So I work with volunteers that come to us from all walks of life, no matter what their background. We put everybody on a level playing field and we try and help them progress to where they want to go, whether that be just to get on with people or to make new friends or to learn new skills or perhaps go into the job market or even set their own business. So that's a very short précis of what I do. The orchard is 7 acres of wonderfulness in the middle of Newquay, and especially on a day like today. It was a field 6 years ago, which is completely hard to believe, and it's developed into this amazing space that it is now, based very much around nature, using the outdoors as a therapy, and just helping people to take that minute of time that you wouldn't get in a classroom or a doctor's environment, and the benefits, just absolutely incredible.
It's really interesting because when you think of Newquay, you think of beaches and you think of tourism. So why is it important to have such a community space like this in the heart of Newquay?
It's important to have community space like this in the heart of everywhere. We're just going to pioneer it and show people how it should be done. There's no nature around in a lot of spaces. We do, there's big developments and all they're interested in is as many houses as possible and no green space. The benefits of green space are just phenomenal, even if it's somewhere quiet to go sit down and contemplate in a moment of mindfulness. But what we're doing here is this site is in the centre of Newquay, and like you said, less than a mile away from the beaches and the tourism. We have this absolute haven where the whole community are encouraged to use it. Yes, we are Newquay Orchard, and yes, we do what we do with the social programmes and the education and everything else that we do. But actually, this place is open to the community 24/7. So if you want to come for a walk at 10 o'clock at night in the summer, sit on a bench and watch the sunset, we encourage that. The whole community can benefit from these green spaces, and there should be a lot more of them.
And we're here today for the Injection of Nature. What is that? Who are connected to this programme?
Well, the Injection of Nature is something, it's funding that's been given from something called a conf bid. Without getting too complicated, it's just a big pot of funding. And we're basically going to, a lot of organisations such as Nature England, Newquay Orchard, voluntary sector, etc., Chaos themselves, I believe, we're getting involved. We're using this money to prove that the work in nature really does benefit. It's a twofold thing. First and foremost, for the people who get involved in being in nature, the personal benefits are huge, absolutely huge, but no one's proved this. So we're going to use this Injection of Nature to prove that it works. Another side of it is it will actually ultimately save the NHS a few quid. That's the bit that no one ever wants to talk about, but it's really important. This could save tens and dozens of visits to doctors and therapies that would normally just roll and cost, whereas a bit of open space, a bit of time, a bit of mindfulness, there's no classroom or tablet for that. It just can't be done. So Injection of Nature is really about the awareness around the complete benefit of being in the environment, being out in nature, and just taking that moment to take it in.
Thank you. Program that's in here today, what we have is essentially it's kind of like a conference with like taster sessions and stuff. Why is it important to bring everyone together to talk about the program and how it can impact people?
I think with all these things, when you have something new, anybody who's been involved in anything like this in any funding circle at all, you need to come together. You need to sort of have an agreed strategy. Well, we're all in about the same place, but from this, people can look at what we do at the orchard and they can talk to us about what we do, and we can talk to them about how to use the good bits of what we do. But more importantly, there's a gathering of other minds here that we can talk to, and we can take some of their good bits. And it's not about like this is the Injection of Nature and you will do it like this. It's okay, well, we're all on to something fantastic here. This is amazing. let's make the best of it. So actually, the ability to get people in a room to start with is just wonderful now. The conversations that will happen, the information sessions that will happen, and the ability to share is vital to make it an ongoing success.
And with the injection in nature and the different partners, thinking about what Newquay Orchard specifically do, and when you're talking about social prescribing, what does a day look like for someone that would be called is it a participant? Yeah.
Yeah, we call them volunteers.
Okay.
So someone who comes to us as a volunteer, like I said, they could be from any walk of life. They could be someone who's retired down here, has plenty of money and is very well heeled and just wants to come and do some volunteering. It could be someone actually in crisis. It could be someone with 2-to-1 support. It could be someone who's just between jobs in the hotels. So the first things first is when you come here, you all meet together. We're all on the same playing field. So from that, we're involved in any sort of activities. It could be building this amphitheatre. It's all to be done by volunteers. Everything you see around the site has been done by volunteers. It could be working in the forest garden. It could be a skill share. It could be a classroom thing about making Christmas decorations out of willow. It could be teaching people about the whole sort of field to fork journey. About, well, you've planted this veg, but actually we've grown it, we've harvested it, we've taken the seeds, we've done the whole journey, and people benefit from that. So when they come here, it's not prescribed. We have a plan, but we don't tell people what the plan is. The ultimate thing is that they will eventually have that moment and think, do you know what? This is awesome, and I'm doing much better than I thought I was, and I'm ready to take the next step. And that's where we look to go with our volunteers that want to do that.
It just sounds incredible. So kind of from that aspect of someone where they would, I don't know, go potentially to a doctor, and a doctor would maybe prescribe some support through counselling or through maybe prescriptions. This is very much a different form of support and getting people out into the fresh air, really.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. If you have a problem with mental health or anything like that, go and see a doctor. This isn't a replacement for that, because sometimes you need proper medical help and through the statutory services. What we're finding with the social prescription route is when you see a doctor, you get 5 minutes, 10 minutes if you're lucky, if you can get to see one. They can send you to a social prescriber who'll meet you for an hour, and they can meet you again in a couple of weeks and a couple of weeks after that. That social prescriber has time to know the person, has time to send them or refer them or signpost them to the next thing that will help that person on their journey. So we're not advocating that the service should stop. The mental health service is what it is, but we're just saying as a complementary thing to that, it's much, much, much bigger and much, much more beneficial than anybody currently realises, and Injection of Nature is going to prove that.
Amazing, Andrew. Thank you so much for joining us today. Hi, we are here at Newquay Orchard, and we're with Volunteer Cornwall and Cornwall Wildlife Trust with Andy Brailsford and Sarah Rayner. Can you just describe why we're here and what we're doing? Over to Andy.
So today is the launch of the Injection for Nature project, which is a bid that we put in the summer to provide activities for people to get involved in outdoor with a range of organisations that we think and hopefully will demonstrate is good for your physical and mental health and well-being.
Thank you, Andy. And kind of who are the partners and why are all the partners getting involved with this?
So Andy very kindly put a bid together on behalf of 6 partners, and you must help me if I don't name them all. So we've got Newquay Orchard, the Eden Project, Nature Connects, Chaos, Cornwall Wildlife Trust, and
Battling on is the.
Thank you, Andy. Thank you, Andy. Sorry, what was the rest of the question?
Kind of, why is it important? Why is it important thinking about social prescribing and connecting with all these different partners? What's the aim and what's the plans?
So all the partners involved are nature-based organisations, and we talk a lot about blue prescribing and green prescribing. So blue is anything to do with the water, so the sea, rivers, and that might be things like rock pool rambles, snorkel safaris or sea watch from land. And then the green prescribing is all land-based activities, so things like growing food, taking photography in nature, nature walks, looking after animals. And all of the partners involved can offer a myriad of activities along those lines. And the studies show that there's such benefits in people taking part in these activities and connecting to nature, help to reduce stress, anxiety, mild depression. So it's a really fantastic project. We've got 6 months, so it's quite condensed, but we're really looking forward to getting started.
And Andy, kind of thinking around the benefits, obviously the social benefits and the mental well-being benefits, what are the benefits to other organisations? So, for example, the NHS and with the stresses that are happening there?
So I think everybody realises that at the moment our health system is under immense pressure because of COVID, because of all sorts of other pressures around staffing levels and just generally a shortage of trained doctors and nurses and so on. And so and if we all go along to our doctors, to hospitals, and expect them to just make us better, that just adds to the stress. So this kind of approach is a different way. This is kind of a preventative approach. Let's keep people well so they don't need the NHS in the first place if we can. But if they do become ill, let's see if there's a you can be prescribed tablets and medicine, but sometimes that's not the only or the best way to treat somebody. And we've heard on the film this morning from a GP saying, I can prescribe tablets, but something like coming out here on a beautiful day like this, mixing with other people, and getting involved in activities that are good for you physically and mentally is so much better than just popping some pills. And I think most GPs now recognise that. So we wanted to create some opportunities for GPs and social prescribers and other people to refer to send patients to, where they could do just that, help part of their rehabilitation, part of their recovery from their illness, or just help to keep them fit and healthy physically and mentally.
Thank you, Andy. And actually, yeah, it's absolutely beautiful. Newquay Orchard, Newquay Community Orchard. Coming back to Sarah and just thinking about what would a social prescribing activity day feel like? What would be the kind of the ins and outs?
I think the crux of it is that everybody who attends will have a really lovely, relaxing time, really enjoyable time. The partners that are involved have got such a diverse range of activities they can offer. So there's going to be something for everybody. It's going to be outdoors. We will have indoor sessions as well, because this is running across autumn and winter, so we'll be prepared for anything. But I think it's going to be completely inclusive, really enjoyable, and you might learn things that you never knew before, have experiences that you haven't had before. And I would say to people, feel really open-minded about that and come along and just enjoy what we have to offer.
Fab, thank you very much. Thank you both.
Thank you very, very much there, Matthew. And fantastic stuff. I can't agree more with how beneficial it can be just getting outside a little bit. I've been actually actively taking that approach myself recently, and I've actually started running again. Don't want to talk about it too much, but just being outside, it really does change how you feel. I feel like a lot of people say it so much and people ignore it, but please don't ignore it. It's quite incredible. And the kind of stuff that these guys are doing, fantastic. We will have some music now, and then we will go back to Matthew in a little while. Well, now we're going to see some familiar faces in Jess and Penny as they talk to Matthew a little bit more down over at Newquay. Over to you, Matthew.
Hey Pudge, and yes, absolutely, we're still in Newquay Orchard, and it's such a beautiful day. I've had to take my jumper off, but we're with Jess and Penny. Well, yeah, fantastic. You did some dancing, but we'll talk about that. I call it dancing. I'm not quite sure. We'll work on that in a second. But why are you here, and why is it important to be here?
So we are here to share what we do here at KS, or not here at KS Farm, but at KS Farm, with everybody that's here. So the different partners of part of the Conf bid, so the social prescribing, to kind of reach other people really, to help and to kind of spread the word about chaos.
And actually kind of thinking about the conference and being in Newquay Orchard. Penny, what's it been like, kind of the setup and getting to see people again?
Wow, it's amazing. I mean, let's face it, we've had, 18 months where things like this have not happened, or if they have, they've been virtual, so you've been on the other end of a screen. It's just wonderful to be able to meet up with these people, get networking again with like-minded people that just want to help, and in such a fabulous setting. I knew this was here, but I had no idea what it actually was, and it's just incredible. If anyone gets an opportunity to come and see it. It's wonderful. You'll love it.
You can't actually see them. We're sat on the amphitheatre, but it's just a fantastic little open space. I have to ask, okay, who, what, why, when, where?
This is Alfie. Alfie has been with me many, many years. I believe it was a Christmas present when I was like 7. Alfie is now very widely travelled as well. He comes with us and helps us to demonstrate some of the stuff that we do with the equine therapy. 2 years ago, we went out. We were lucky enough to go to a seminar in Finland, a green therapy seminar, and Alfie came with us. So he's got his own little passport, and he's a very integral part of the team.
Thank you, Panny. And actually, talking about the equine therapy, what do you do? What's the social prescribing? How do people benefit from this?
Oh gosh, you've asked the $1 million question. We've just been talking about it. So basically, it is to reach people and to help. So the idea is we get a person into a field with some horses, and the horses work the magic. We are the facilitators, and the horses are the therapists. Really, there's obviously a lot more to do with that, but you have to keep watching Chaos TV because we have just done a piece on equine therapy. So that'll be coming out. They'll be coming out soon.
Thanks, Jess. I'm getting used to the microphone, just kind of moving it places. Okay, so with the equine therapy, and we're here expressing and understanding the different social prescribing elements. Have you had an opportunity of going around to see the different ones so far? Not yet.
We've been spreading the love about Chaos, so at the moment we haven't had the opportunity. Hopefully we will soon.
And kind of from knowing who are here, so kind of who do we have? We've got Battling On, Nature Connect, obviously ourselves, the Eden Project, Cornwall Wildlife Trust, and we're here at Newquay Orchard. With the people being here over the last, and not being able to access face-to-face conversations over the last 18 months, and social prescribing, why is it important for people to recognise and know that these services are available?
I think there's been a huge amount of pressure on everybody in different ways, and it's actually to raise the awareness that people are still out here. Although things have changed slightly, there are still people out doing good and offering the help and support that a lot of us need. So it's a really fantastic network that we're actually all face to face, that we can actually get a better idea rather than just a flat screen, to actually say what we're now offering, what has changed and what differences there's been. So I think the main importance is to actually share it Cornwall wide, because there's actually people from Hale, Campbell, Medruth, St Austell, Clays, everywhere over Cornwall, and they've all joined here, which is really, really fantastic. So it's actually sharing what knowledge we all have and the things that we all have to offer, so that we can actually reach as many people and help and support as many as we can.
Amazing, Jess and Penny. And I think we're gonna finish up on this dance thing that I saw you both do and demonstrate. But it's not a dance, is it? It's some sort of what is it?
It's what we call a grounding exercise. We always use one of these at the beginning of every session of equine therapy, and it's just it's a way of making sure that the people that come for their sessions, they are present in that moment, in that place. They can put away everything that's been bothering them, the worries that they've had for that morning, the traumas of their journey, so that they can benefit the most from being there, being in that time, that place, and allowing themselves to have a really, really fantastic session with the horses.
Okay, so we're going to do this as everyone's coming out of the canteen. So please, if you can do this at home or in your office, step away from your desk. And am I going to do this with you as well? Yeah, we'll do it together. And we'll sign. We'll
this one out,
okay. So I'm going to pass. Oh, no. Yeah, let's do it. So what we're doing, explain what we're doing.
Okay, if I had the radio. So basically, I'll do it with one hand. So we're going to start by just kind of stepping on the ground, and then the idea is that you actually get your feet moving and your arms moving. Ideally, you want both hands. I've obviously only got one, so you tap your shoulder, and then you come down your arms. The idea being that actually we're getting in contact with our body. So you want to come, so you're actually clapping your hands. And when you're doing it, you want to be able to feel the palms of your hands touching. And when you're doing that, focus on the balls of your feet hitting the ground. And then the idea is you move down your body, so you're actually working down the outsides of your legs. I don't know how much time we've got for you to do it very quickly. And then we come back up and you start slowing down. So it's actually then really thinking about how your body moves, what your body is in contact with. So your feet are moving. In the field, we would actually get into that kind of deep breathing and kind of get the person breathing properly and deep breath. So it's actually feeding the mind and kind of letting them focus really and get here in the present moment.
Brilliant. Thank you very, very much. Back over to Pudge with some music, and we've got battling on in a short while.
Thank you very much there, Matthew. I've taken part there a little bit, got caught out by the cameras. Thank you very much, back office, for that, ever present in the moment. As Matthew said, we're going to have some music and we'll be back in a moment. See you in a bit, guys. Hello and welcome back to Chaos TV. You're here with Pudge, and we're now going to throw back to Matthew all the way over in Newquay. Hello, Matthew, over to you.
Hi there, Pudge. And actually, do you know what? You can see the amphitheatre behind me. And we're now with Nikki Markham from Battling On, which is one of the partners for the Injection of Nature, delivering social prescribing. Can you tell us who Battling On are and what you do with them?
Okay, so Battling On is a veteran-based charity, although saying that we don't just work with veterans. So we support members of the armed forces who are struggling within civilian life. We're actually supporting about 90 at the moment with complex mental health issues. But as they pass through the journey, we train them to become mentors and instructors. And then they actually go out and they work with vulnerable members of the public. So they're working with young people with learning difficulties, disabilities. They're working with dementia groups, adults with life-limiting illnesses. So it's a sort of feedback loop. We've won lots of awards. We got the Queen's Award for Voluntary Services, and we were named COVID Heroes with the Social Farms and Gardens for all our work during the COVID. So.
Nikki, that's incredible. And actually kind of thinking about what you do, where are you based? And you have some animals as well that are a little bit, not normal for Cornwall.
No, we're based on a 124-acre care farm. We are between Liskeard and Callington, so we're up in the southeast. And we have reindeer and alpacas and wallabies and giant Watu donkeys and goats and sheep and pigs and you name it. So it's a really relaxed, chilled, lovely environment. People can come and just walk in the woods. We've got 40 acres of woodland. They can sit by the lake, or they can just, hang out with the animals. And we have dedicated workshops to do construction of, carpentry type stuff, horticultural unit. We work with Drawn to the Valley, so they can come and do artwork. So masses to do over there.
We're just talking to Jess and Penny about equine therapy and these kind of exotic animals or more exotic animals. How do they help with social prescribing and connecting people with nature?
Okay, so donkeys, onotherapy is a well-known thing. It's part of the equine therapy. We do have ponies as well. But animals across the board have been proven to have great therapeutic benefits. So, for instance, little known fact, alpacas actually are the best animals for working with people with autism. Their fur, the way they squeak and talk to each other just has a really calming effect. And that's sort of research out of America. Obviously, the donkeys, we don't need to say everybody loves a donkey. I mean, who doesn't? Pigs, we've got pigs that smile. We've trained them to sit. You can go in, they'll fetch things. We've got little donkeys, miniatures as well as giants, so they raid your pockets. You can take the reindeer for a walk. But all of these things, they're designed to give people confidence that they wouldn't necessarily have working with animals that they'd never normally get to meet. So it's kind of a win-win, and the animals love it, absolutely adore it.
And the support of the reasons why we're here and kind of connecting different people to different programmes, specifically around the southeast of Cornwall, what support's needed in there and kind of the impact that you're able to have within your communities?
Okay, so we always consider that we're the poor relations because a lot of stuff happens from Truro down, and so quite often the southeast is forgotten, and that's because we're quite rural. So we have a lot of social isolation. We have a lot of people that just can't access services because we're quite a widespread area. Food poverty is huge. We have 2 areas either side of us that's amongst some of the most socially deprived in Cornwall. And people don't believe it, they are living in the countryside and yet they've never been to the moors, or they've never, we've had kids that have come from literally 3 miles away from us and they've never paddled in a river. So it's, we are forgotten about, but there is a lot of social deprivation. And where you get deprivation, you have mental health issues. Where you have the elderly living on their own, again, you have depression sit in. Isolation and social deprivation can actually, and has been proven to be as harmful as smoking to the health. So it's really about bringing communities together. So the farm is actually, we dub it as a community countryside hub. So we bring countryside people to a farm where they actually can have shared experiences. So they can go out gardening, they can just sit and chat and stroke a donkey. We have dementia groups come in, we have the elderly come in just for a cup of tea and they'll stroke an alpaca. So lots of fun stuff.
Amazing. And just one last question. What's it like being around people again with this type of conference and engaging with so many incredible people with the social provisions and talking about the work that you're doing?
Amazing. I mean, to be perfectly honest, I know a lot of these organisations from the past, and without doubt, this network that they've managed to pull together for the Injection of Nature is incredible. Some really good work right across the country, and it's really nice to see old friends again. It's all a bit surreal, isn't it?
Fantastic, Nikki. Thank you so much. And just, absolutely. So we're finishing here at Newquay Orchard and passing it back across to Pudge. Do you know what? If you haven't already been outside, it's a beautiful day. Enjoy it.
It is looking beautiful out there, absolutely. I came in this morning, I thought it was a little bit cold, but I can imagine now it looks warmer, it looks beautiful, and what a perfect day to have this going on.